Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Ase Explains. This is Dr. Ase, and today's topic is Biology 2 Lab and Module 1, which covers five labs under Module 1. So Lab 1, just introduction. Lab 2, phylogeny. Lab 3, 4, Protista, and Lab 5, the first group of non-vascular plants in Plantae. So let's get started. Okay, so the Bio2 lab starts with geological time, and so you need to study this timeline like you see here in the clock, the 4.6 billion years total time, and then the Precambrian times, and then the current eon, like Phanerozoic eon, which since last 540 million years. So a lot happened in the last 540 million years. So as you know, 500 million years, our first group here we already covered. Algae show up 450 million years, about 450 million years ago. Land plants show up, and then 130 million years ago, flowering plants show up. So make sure you're familiar with eons, which is the largest block of time there, and eras like Cenozoic, and then periods like today. What's the period like quaternary? But there was Cambrian period, which was 500 million years ago, and an epoch and age. So make sure you pay attention to those, and phylogeny, right? So phylogeny trees, so systematics. Taxonomy plus phylogeny makes systematics. And systematics is started with Carl Linnaeus, and then he's actually taxonomy and then naming, classifying, naming, coming up with the binomial names, many thousands of species. And today we actually use that system. So phylogenetic trees are very important. So when we're studying actually organismal biology, we use phylogenetic trees a lot. They show evolutionary relationship between taxons. Any of these items in the you see at the right side, they are all taxons like A, B, C, D, F. They might be coming from the bottom like basal taxon. They might be branching out like sister taxa. And then most importantly, they are connected with these branch points and most recent common ancestors, right? So that goes back to the convergent evolution with or divergent evolution. In this case, it's divergent evolution, which basically evolved from a common ancestor and using homologous structures. This is similarity due to common ancestry, right? So we use genetic variation and genetic code. In all organisms, there are a number of things that actually help us build these trees, like fossil records, the environment changes, the adaptation, and in the evolution of drug resistance, a lot of other stuff, right? So eon, era, period, epoch, age. So don't forget. And so make sure that you can read a phylogeny tree, and you can actually you can discuss parts of it. So we have 6 kingdoms we cover actually. So in life, which has 6 kingdoms. First 2 we don't cover here in this lab much, which are kingdom 1 is ALGAE. This is unicellular, autotrophic, more harsh environments. Kingdom 2, bacteria, also not covered in this lab, which can be autotrophic or heterotrophic, normal environments. But the other 4 kingdoms, starting with Protista, Plantae, fungi, and Animalia, total 6 kingdoms. And if you look at all the phylums and groups and units, under 6 kingdoms, we have 32 units, core units that actually we cover. So our first kingdom is Protista. Okay, so Protista is a pretty cool kingdom. Has both unicellular and multicellular. So make sure you remember this. It has autotrophic and heterotrophic, uni and multi. So unicellular plus multicellular. Okay. So kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista has 5 supergroups. They are Excavata, Chromovolades, Rhizaria, Archaeoplastida, and Uniconta. So 5, right? So 5 supergroups. So you need to know supergroups under Protista and representative species in each supergroup and something unique about them, right? Like you see some pictures here. So Excavata is a supergroup 1, and they have subgroups under supergroups. Diplomonadas, Euglenozoans, for example, some examples. So, and then we see one called Tribonozoma. So pay attention. So Euglena, which was you can see here in this picture with a single large flagella. It's under Excavata and supergroup Excavata. Trichomonas is another one that you'll actually seen. Basically, there is a Euglena, there are Trichomonas and Diplomonadas. Right? So these are 3 representative species under subgroups under Excavata. So they have unique flagella, one tall, long one. So just remember that. Okay, so next supergroup is Chromovolades, which is basically all dinoflagellates, diatoms, paramecium, plasmodium, oomycetes, and brown algae. Brown algae is under Chromovolades. So just remember that, Chromovolades. So a lot of algae, but most importantly, brown algae and diatoms, which is green algae, which has silica cell walls, which are very, very tough cell walls. There is also paramecium here, and then there is plasmodium, which is also cause diseases. So some parasitic representatives. So make sure Chromovolades. So you pay attention. Next one is Rhizaria, which is a smaller group. Forearms is like the forearms, you might remember, with the 4 parts on them. And actinopods, there's some examples of Rhizaria. Next group is Archaeoplastida. Archaeoplastida more look like plants and has a lot of algae in it, including red algae and very importantly, green algae, right? So green algae under Archaeoplastida, which is a good example is Chlamydomonas, which look like Euglena, but has 2 flagella. So it's a green algae and it's unicellular. You need to pay attention. Red algae like coralline, another green algae like Volvox, and then some other algae species under this Archaeoplastida. So green algae is Chlorophyta, red algae is Rhodophyta. The next group is unicorns, which are basically more like fungi-like structures. They're called Uniconta. This is a supergroup Uniconta under Protista kingdom. So examples: plasmodial slime molds, bus, and cellular slime molds. And they like fungi. Okay, so these are Protista supergroups and subgroups and representative species. And then the next all these slides are actually you need to review all these slides and microscope slides and make sure that you're familiar with them. And then next phylum is Plantae. Plantae is our phylum number 2 we cover here. Protista is phylum number 1. I'm sorry, kingdom number 1. And I take it back. Plantae is our kingdom number 2. which has 12 maybe phylums that we cover under this. So this module 1, we only start with just a first group of Plantae, which are called non-vascular plants. These are also called bryophytes. And we have 3 phylums under this group: mosses, liverworts, and hornworts. So mosses like Minium, Sphagnum, peat moss, liverworts like Marchantia, and lastly hornworts, even though we didn't talk too much about it, but there's a group called hornworts as well. This is also under Plantae. Always remember that these are very simple plants with really simple structures and really small. They don't have really true organs yet. And then they have spores instead of seed or flower or any of those. So spores, and then they develop into the male Antheridia or female Archegonia with egg. You can see in this picture here. And in the case of Marchantia, you can see actually gemmacops. That's an asexual type of reproduction also found in some of these early plants. They are called non-vascular plants. They're called non-vascular because they don't have xylem and phloem vascular systems. So we end module 1 here. And when we pick up module 2 after the first test, that's actually, we are going to continue with more Plantae phylums, like including lycophytes, ferns, horsetails, whisk ferns, and then Coniferophyta, Gynotophyta, Cygadophyta, Ginkgo, Anthophida, and we will finish up the Plantae kingdom after actually when we start the module 2, so in the following week. So just to recap, actually we have this is module 1, and then lab 1, 2, 5. So total 5 labs, 2 labs again, just introduction, phylogeny, and then 2 labs, Protista kingdom, and then 1 lab, introduction to plants and non-vascular plants. So thanks for watching, and please feel free to comment and subscribe and like. So see you in the next video. Happy studying.